This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Buer. It's opening day at Saratoga, and the DRF Race of the Day for Thursday, July 15th is one of two graded stakes races on the card. Let's take a peek at the field for the quick call, going 5.5 furlongs on the turf for 3-year-olds. A couple of main track onlys in here. The 5, Fire Sword. The 7, Mr. Sippy. The 6, Fauci, ran last week at Monmouth. I'm going to expect him to scratch. Golden Pal is odds on for a reason. The winner of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. We haven't seen him in a while, Mike, but he looked really good at 2. Wesley Ward thinks this horse is the bee's knees.
Well, he was obviously a very good 2-year-old, Dan. I mean, I guess you have to be, considering the price he's going to be in here, I guess you got to be a little concerned that it's taken him so long to get started as a 3-year-old. But if he comes back anything close to what he was at 2, he's going to win this race.
And remember to download free Formulator past performances for this race, the quick call on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. We throw up that Timeform US pace projector. Golden Pal's got speed. They're not going to take it away from him in here. He looks like the main speed. Jackson Traveler draws well outside. He probably is going to be sitting up close as he makes his turf debut. Rebel Posse looked good in his last race at Lone Star. He's a tactical type.
Yeah, Rebel Posse should fall into a little bit of a trip here. He's 2 for 2 on turf so far, taking a big step up in class. I guess Jackson Traveler, as far as the pace goes anyway, I guess he's sort of the key to the race, Dan. He's drawing outside. He has speed.
Kentucky Pharaoh, the number 1. Now, both of his lifetime wins have come in gate-to-wire fashion. Both of those races, however, were 2-turn routes at Gulfstream, so he'll be tested in the early portion of this race, cutting back in distance. Nothing went right in his most recent start at Belmont. He just dumped the jockey at the start, and I was a little disappointed in his race 2-back, the Kitten's Joy, Mike. I thought he would do better.
Yeah, I did too. I don't like that Kitten's Joy as a race overall. I guess I would also say I didn't necessarily care for the ride that he got, Dan. I mean, the pace wasn't fast. I don't know why they decided to, take a hold and sit off of another horse there. They could have just cleared. I don't know. I think this horse is pretty good. I just, don't necessarily love him cutting back for this.
The horse that won the Kitten's Joy is okay. He's been a little bit of a disappointment. He came back to run 3rd in the Palm Beach with an 82 buyer, then 3rd in a little stakes race at Tampa with the 73. 2nd of July, the number 2, is a graded stakes winner. This horse won the Futurity at Belmont last year in his second lifetime start. He didn't break that well that day. Was kind of in and among horses on the far turn. He got to the outside and he came with a good run. He's hoping the pace is fast. He was really close to the pace in his seasonal debut. I thought that was a pretty good lung opener despite the kind of dismal running line.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, he's in some ways, I feel like he's an interesting horse in here at a price, if only because he did run well in his first 2 starts last year, sprinting on the grass. I mean, they were both sort of big upsets for him, a huge price first time out, and then even a big price when he upset the Futurity. Listen, the Breeders' Cup, he ran against Golden Pal that day. He was no match, chasing wide in there. He never looked like he was good enough, and he finished far behind. But he did have an excuse last time. I mean, bumped and steadied at the start. He wound up last, and then he just rushed forward in there. Looked like his rider had a pretty tough time getting to settle, and he gave it up through the stretch. But I'm with you. I feel like maybe he needed that race, and he can do better in here.
And the horse that he finished ahead of came back to earn an 85 buyer, albeit on dirt, against only condition claiming competition. Here's Golden Pal, winner of the Skidmore at Saratoga last year, then the winner of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. We watched Golden Pal, and he was just too fast for them early. He cleared off to the lead in a blink of an eye. Actually was under a hold under Irad on the backstretch, then opened up again on the turn, and he's going to hold sway. He's got gears, and he's got figs, and he could be the one to catch and is the one to beat.
Yeah, all those things are true. We'll see how he comes back off the layoff here. And if he's as good as he was at 2 or even took a step forward, he's going to win. Impressive winning this race, impressive winning the Skidmore over course and distance last summer. Really impressive first time turfing that Norfolk at Ascot last year. He ran a great race that day. I mean, he's just a really good horse. I don't know where he's been. I don't know what the story is with him. A big gap in his workout line there. So maybe something happened. He had a setback, but he looks like he's training pretty well on the way into this.
3-month layoff for the 4 Omaha City, coming off of this race at Gulfstream Park, an entry-level allowance going 5 furlongs on the turf. We're going to see Omaha City on the outside. He has a look at this in the stretch, and he's going to not only have a look at it, he's going to get up and win it by a head with a 76 buyer. The 4th horse would come back winning with a 77 buyer, but now he's got to step up in class against some really tough turf sprinters.
Yeah, it's a tough spot for this horse. His turf sprints are actually pretty good. He's certainly improved so far as a 3-year-old. He has that going for him, I guess. And he is a stakes winner sprinting on the grass. Previously, when you watch him run, he's just really game. And his wins are sort of more game than anything else. I don't know if they necessarily give him a real chance in here.
Fire Sword the 5 entered main track only. Fauci the 6. I ran last week and didn't run particularly well at Monmouth over yielding going. I would expect him to scratch. Mr. Sippy the 7 entered main track only. So let's go to Rebel Posse. This horse has some potential. Well, watch his most recent start at Lone Star. I thought he had a decent enough trip, breaking from post 2, settled into the pocket on the backstretch. Now it's to angle 4 wide into the stretch. And he just gets by these horses very easily at the end.
Yeah, I mean, both of his turf sprints look like this. Again, he's 2 for 2 sprinting on the grass. He got the same trip both times. He's a very handy kind of horse, and he finishes in the stretch once they take him out to the clear. He did that, change into his wrong lead once he hits the front. He did that both times as well, but I think he's just winning so easily, Dan. I don't know. I don't know if he's good enough to handle this step up in class, but I thought this horse was a little interesting in here.
The 5th horse from that last race we just saw came back to win on dirt with an 86 buyer. Jackson Traveler is the 9. This will be his turf debut. He is a multiple stakes winner on dirt and now stakes placed on synthetic after running second in this race, the Woodstock. Now, he broke well in this race. I think he could have made the front. They decided to sit in the pocket. The rail opens up. He shoots on through. He's put in a little bit tight here, but he just couldn't seal the deal.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, maybe it wasn't the smartest move in the world to rate him. After that, I thought the trip worked out perfectly for him. He got right through on the inside, and to me, he's only second best in here. But he's second best to a good horse. I mean, out of door, there's nothing wrong with that horse. Another Wesley Ward runner. So he was second best to a nice horse. I guess if you like him, Dan, and personally, I don't particularly like him in this race, but he does have turf pedigree. And, if nothing else, he's not going to be the favorite this time. This horse gets pounded every time he runs. He's not going to be the favorite.
Have to earn it, though, because likely on the chasing Golden Pal, who's probably going to be rolling up front. We take a look at our top picks in here. Personally, I think it's going to be a 2-speed number, the 3 and the 9, but I do respect your second pick, Rebel Posse, Mike. I think that horse is a little bit of a wild card.
I do too, and it's going to be interesting to see, you're right, how he classes up. I feel like, Dan, if there was a horse that I felt like I could, really get behind, I might take a little shot against Golden Pal just because of the long layoff. I couldn't find him. I'm going to expect him to win here. My plan is going to be to beat Jackson Traveler and try to get the 2 and the 8 in there.
3-8-6-2 for Mike, 3-9-8-4 for me. It's the quick call. It's opening day at Saratoga, and it's your DRF race of the day.